Joining us to discuss now is Republican Congressman Guy Reschenthaler of Pennsylvania. Congressman, great to have you back on the show.
Grant, it's always good to be on, and please, as always, just call me Guy.
I know you always say that, and I'll call you Guy from here on out. I'll try anyway. It's an old habits die hard, Guy. Your reaction to your state, your home state, certifying the election?
Well, I don't think we should be surprised that Secretary Boockvar, the person who said that Pennsylvania was going to go for Joe Biden before voting even started, I don't think anybody should be surprised that she certified the election. But it's somewhat reckless because the Trump campaign still has a pending lawsuit. And I think as a lawyer, there is grounds for this lawsuit. The Third Circuit is taking it up on appeal. And the issue is really this. It's equal protection. You had some counties that were controlled by Democrat concentrated areas that were allowing voters to cure ballots. And in the Republican areas, they were not allowed to cure ballots. You also had ballots being counted that improperly, that did not have addresses on them, that didn't have signatures. So there was a different application of the law. Additionally, you had the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania unilaterally changing the election law, a clear violation of the U.S. Constitution. So with these pending legal cases, these legal challenges, it may have been premature to do this.
All right, let me play you a soundbite from, I believe it's Kayleigh McEnany, the president's spokesperson, on some of the topics you were just talking about. Roll it.
The legislature said you need a signature, you need a postmark, you need an address, but they were counting ballots without a signature, postmark, or address in these blue counties. This could amount to tens of thousands of ballots. People must have the equal amount of franchisement in this country, and in Pennsylvania, there was nothing of the sort.
All right, so look, I don't understand what the big deal is here. If the law says you got to have a signature, it's got to be postmarked properly, who in the world was in charge of this election that they weren't looking at those things, that we're at a point now where ultimately we're going to have to ask the Supreme Court to go back and look at those votes and possibly throw them out?
Exactly right. And everything that Kayleigh McEnany was saying was accurate. You had a Secretary of State, Boockvar, that was issuing these orders to these counties and municipalities that contradicted state law. There should not have been a discrepancy. There should not have been an unequal application of the law county by county. We should have had one law, one set of rules that was followed by all 67 counties in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, we didn't have that. And Grant, if I could just make a point here, a lot of people might say this is just focusing on the details. Well, the details in elections matter, and here's why. Because if somebody votes twice or a dead person votes, it dilutes by definition the legal votes that are cast. So any vote that is illegal should not be counted, and conversely, every legal vote should count. I don't know why this is so controversial. Well, the operative word in
it's amazing to me. It sounds absolutely like common sense. The other thing that sounds like common sense to me is when you have evidence of very odd statistical abnormalities happening, especially with the electronic voting system. Guy, what can you do in Congress, you fellow Republicans, to get to the bottom of what in the world is going on in the Federal Bureau of Investigations? I think they are sitting on their hands here. I think you've got higher-ups that still do not like this president. They need to be investigating, and I see no signs that they are. What do you do about the FBI right now?
Well, certainly there's a role for Congress in oversight, and hopefully when we take back the majority in 2024, we should have more oversight, of course. But I also want to see what the FBI does with the Durham report. Let's not forget that was supposed to be released. That's going to show exactly what happened during the transfer of power between the Obama administration and the Trump administration. But if there was fraud, those that committed fraud should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And Grant, they should do it for two reasons. Number one, it will show the American people that our elections are fair and that votes are counted. And two, it will put Democrat activists on notice that if they do violate the law, there will be consequences.